How to improve the quality of life through psychology. Psychological insights from cognitive development to emotional decision-making. Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about how to improve our quality of life through psychological knowledge. Whether it is facing a complex social environment, making rational consumption decisions, or optimizing our emotional management ability, psychology can provide us with practical tools and strategies. 1. The secret of cognitive development, the power of assimilation and accommodation. First, let's start with Piaget's theory of cognitive development. Piaget believes that human cognitive processes are mainly completed through two mechanisms: assimilation and accommodation. Simply put, assimilation means that we integrate new information into the existing knowledge system. For example, when a baby sees a bottle for the first time, it will associate it with the existing sucking experience, such as breasts, and quickly adapt to this new tool. This process helps us understand the world within a familiar framework. Accommodation is when we face new information that cannot be explained by existing knowledge, and we have to adjust or create a new cognitive framework. For example, when you move to a place with great cultural differences, you may need to change your original way of communication, such as from focusing on personal space to adapting to a closer social distance. These two processes are not only part of children's growth, but also an important mechanism for adults to adapt to new environments. For example, in the internet age, many people have adapted to the concepts of shopping and communication because they find that online shopping and video calls are completely different from traditional face-to-face communication. 2. The battle between emotion and rationality. How to make smarter decisions. Next, let's talk about a very interesting topic, the role of emotion and rationality in decision-making. According to Plato's metaphor, our brain is like a carriage driven by two horses. An elegant and docile white horse represents rationality, and the other irritable and uncontrollable black horse represents emotion. In reality, these two horses often conflict. For example, a person who quits smoking may be unable to resist smoking a last cigarette at some point, which is a typical example of emotion defeating rationality. However, rationality and emotion are not opposites, but complement each other. As the French philosopher Blaise Pascal said, "Reason is the slave of emotion, but the reverse is also true. Without the guidance of emotion, rationality may lose its way." Damasio's research shows that emotion is one of the important bases for our decision-making. The body marker theory tells us that when we face choices, our brains will quickly generate an intuition based on past experiences and emotional reactions, which helps us make judgments faster. However, the problem is that these intuitions sometimes lead us into misunderstandings. For example, the design of the points system takes advantage of the human desire for extra value, which prompts us to consume frequently to accumulate points. 3. Observation and listening. How to understand other people's psychology through nonverbal behavior. In social communication, observation and listening are two very important skills. Studies have shown that our body language and microexpressions often reflect our inner state more truly than verbal expressions. For example, in a classic experiment, a person wearing a gorilla costume walked past a group of students, and almost half of the students did not notice the gorilla. This shows that our observation of the surrounding environment is often incomplete. Therefore, improving your observation ability is a process that requires long-term training. In addition, listening is not just listening to what the other person says, but also understanding the other person's emotional state. For example, when communicating with others, we can try to repeat what the other person said. "What you just meant is," right? This not only makes the other person feel valued, but also helps us capture their true intentions more accurately. 4th, sleep and creativity. The silent revolution of the brain. Finally, we are going to talk about a topic that may surprise you: the relationship between sleep and creativity. Studies have shown that when we sleep, especially in the rapid eye movement sleep stage, REM, the brain will do a lot of complex association and reorganization work. This not only helps us solve problems, but also inspires our creative inspiration. For example, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is a classic work she wrote after being inspired by a dream. This case tells us that sleep is not only a process of rest, but also an important moment for the brain to think innovatively. V. How to apply this knowledge to real life. Through the above sharing, we have learned about the important role of psychology in cognitive development, emotional decision-making, social communication, and creativity cultivation. So, as ordinary people, how should we use this knowledge to improve the quality of our lives? Learn to adapt and assimilate. When you face a new environment or new challenges, don't be afraid to change your original cognitive mode. For example, when learning a new technology, instead of complaining that it is too complicated, try to connect it with existing knowledge. Balance emotions and rationality. When making important decisions, such as consumption, career choices, etc., you might as well take the time to analyze the source of your emotions. Ask yourself, why am I anxious or excited? This will help you evaluate the problem more comprehensively. Improve observation and listening skills. Try to spend 10 minutes every day focusing on observing the body language and micro-expressions of people around you. For example, in a cafe, you can try to interpret other people's body movements, such as crossing your arms may indicate defensive psychology. At the same time, use more repetition skills in communication to ensure that you really understand what the other person means. Pay attention to sleep and creativity. Maintain a good work and rest habit, and write down the problems you want to solve or the content you want to create before going to bed. The next morning, you will find that your thoughts will be clearer. Through today's sharing, I hope everyone can have a deeper understanding of the application value of psychology in daily life. Whether it is cognitive development, emotional decision-making, or social communication, as long as we can master the core logic of these psychological strategies, we can better control our lives. If you think today's content is helpful to you, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get more practical tips on psychology, emotional management, and self-improvement.